Day two, no Brewster. There's different phases of earnings season, right? We used to have Alcoa kick things off. Well, we can wait for Alcoa until later on. JP Morgan, Delta, we get them early. Then we wait around for the big guns, the Mag 7. Woo! And retail comes in. But this is a cloudy week. And you know what? There are clear skies ahead for MongoDB. We're going to talk the cloud stocks, some earnings. Credo blows it away as well. Amazon disrupting the grocery shopping delivery. We'll talk about that. We won't mention my Domino's story. We got some ratings to cover. Joel Kulina, 8:35. He's going to talk about technology and media trading. Let's get things started here on pre-market prep.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. And this is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Okay, good morning, traders and investors. Well, a little bit of choppy after hours, but right back up here. Up 17 handles at 68.43. The buck, it's up a few pennies at 99.39. TLT got whooped yesterday, trying to come back today, but still down 15 cents, 88.62. USO hanging out just under 71 is 70.85. GLD, big day yesterday, giving some back today, down 223, 387.52. SLV in the red after a huge day yesterday, down 21 cents at 52.28. In Bitcoin futures, well, do we have a major bottom in here? Well, we're getting away from it. Bitcoin futures currently trading up nearly $1,900 at 87,600. Triple D is going to hop on the stage. And Dennis, how you doing on this Tuesday morning?
Okay, a little bit stuffy. You know, area's going to have a little bit of this cold, I guess, forever. Just get used to it. This is wintertime. This is what
Should
happens.
we put that in the updates, like in the outline? Like
yeah, I think so.
Oh,
You asked me how I feel. You asked me how I was.
Yeah, I just meant the markets. I really
Stop
don't care.
asking me that question.
I really don't care how you feel. I just want to know.
It's just a figure of speech, Daddy. We don't really want to know how you feel. It's just a figure of speech.
All right. That's
good life advice right there. Market.
Let's do it. Wait. No, I want to interrupt you. Macro. We got to do some macro. Fed Bowman speaks at 10 a.m. Jolt's jobs opening at 10 a.m. But they don't take place during our show, so who really cares about it?
Yeah, I thought I say. I don't care either. I don't care about stuff happening right now in our show. Right now at this moment. So we have no 8:30 data in this show. None.
Denny, I'm going to let you run things for 1 second here.
Uh-oh. Joel's gone. I know I'd be by myself. He just left. He just left me. What am I going to talk about? It's going to be an hour rant. Everybody's going to go nuts. No, it's not. Okay. Let's talk earnings last night. Cloudy week is what the name of the title is, and that is because we have so many cloud stocks reporting, from MongoDB last night to CRM to Snowflake, UiPath. It is, you could even go the cloud stocks with the cybersecurity with CrowdStrike, Okta tonight. So cloud stocks are going to run the tape here this week. MongoDB did not disappoint here. MongoDB comes out last night with the earnings. Because Joel left me, he would report from last night. I know it was a good one because we were trading it, but try to get you the exact numbers. And system working really slow. Who cares about the exact numbers? MongoDB beat. Guidance was good. Stock rip roaring higher, up 75 points. You guys didn't stop all night. Stock was $390 last night. Now it's $406.
Dennis, I have some breaking news.
Okay, what's your breaking news?
Lisa was right again.
Yeah, you had a leak?
We got a gas leak.
Oh, fun. You got to leave the house?
I don't have to leave the house, but they have to totally tear up my gas line, replace it, or not the whole entire line, the meter. They need to shut down the gas in the house. Then they have to come back in and restart everything.
When are they doing this?
Right now.
Oh, Okay, well, don't blow up on me, Joel, here. Holy. This all of a sudden just got interesting here. So,
Yeah,
okay,
no. I think I'm fine. You probably hear BB
don't blow up.
barking, and then the gas guy is gonna come in my office. So I just wanted to give you that update. Lisa was
All right,
right.
Lisa, you don't argue with your wife. She's always right. Lisa's right
Well,
here once
no, but
again.
then you told me, oh, it's the
Well,
weather.
sometimes you smell a little bit of gas around the meter. I smell a little bit of gas around your meter. It's as they diffuse a little bit.
Well, why don't you
So
call Canadian Gas and Electric and check, because you might have a gas leak too.
maybe I should actually. Okay, Laura, we got to call the gas company. Okay.
All right.
MongoDB. I was trying to give the earnings, and I
Wow.
suck at giving the earnings here. So I just said stocks up 75
I'll give it
points.
to you.
Not looking back. Joel, if you can, sure.
Yeah, I wonder if this is gonna make my computer slow now. Come on now.
I couldn't get it
Um,
either.
maybe it's by source. It was a guy. I mean, it was a beat and a beat, but really wasn't it the guidance that really got everyone
Yes.
excited?
Yes. Okay.
Y-
So MongoDB, we don't care about the earnings anyway. It's up 77 points. That new all-time high.
Is that a
No,
new old
sorry,
time? Oh
2023.
yeah.
Actually,
No,
2024.
no. You're right. It's
Yeah. New 52-week high. So
mhm.
price target raises. Here's your lemming race here. Price target raised at Barclays. Price target raised at BMO Capital. Price target raised at RBC Capital. Price target raised at Citizens. Price target raised at Wolf. Price target raised at Stifel. Price target raised at Truist. Price target raised at Guggenheim, Mizuho, B of A, Needham, Goldman, Wells Fargo, Canaccord, Cantor, UBS, Rosenblatt, Scotia. They all just change their mind on whatever earnings happens. I mean, I don't know what the point to it all is, but everybody's getting on board here this morning. Everybody likes MongoDB here now. And you know who really liked MongoDB last night was Snowflake. Snowflake, which
Oh,
reports tomorrow night. Also Datadog, both trading up in sympathy here as well. And the big one, CRM's trading up a little bit here. So the clouds, they're going.
Dennis, how do you? I mean, well, first of all, just one tip. Once something exceeds the expected move, and the expected move was 44 and a quarter. So once you surpass that suspected move, the option guys are in trouble. The straddle riders are in trouble. If it gets above the expected move, they got to buy. If it gets below the expected move, they got to sell. So that's one
You're
thing
almost
to
double
keep
the
in note.
expected move.
But Dennis, I just want to ask you, like when like everyone thinks like you always are trading the wild stocks and the earnings. I mean, were you just out there chasing MongoDB? I didn't remember on the closing show. I don't think you tried to short it. What do you
No.
pick on when you see these
So
kind of
sympathy
moves?
plays. So I'm all about like, okay, now we have new information. We've got MongoDB moving. We know it's going to move stocks like Datadog, Snowflake, and it possibly moves some of the other ones on up too. Now we were long a couple of the other ones like UiPath, so you hold on to those a little bit longer because now you've got information in there. So I mean, you're trading sympathy, but you're also looking at saying, hey, that probably is going to help the QQQ trade. Qs, for whatever reason, just did not give two craps about any of the cloud stocks last night. For like an hour and a half after the report, the Qs just kind of traded unch. They actually traded down. They were down multiple times. So, but eventually money comes in and starts saying, hey, and we start to rise up. So I think, you have multiple ways you could trade that. As one, just buy in tech, like looking around and buying other, like cloud. If you can buy a cloud stock, that's great. You got to be really fast on a Snowflake or like a Datadog that's going to trade directly with it. But if you're ready, there might be an opportunity. But it's more so just like in tech in general. Like if you're seeing the cloud stocks that strong, cloud's a huge part of this market, it's probably going to bring the overall market up too. S&P's Qs were really slow last night off of it. So there's lots of opportunities. So information, this is what I specialize in, is headline interpretation and profiting from that information and participating in price discovery. So, but I don't usually pick. There's traders that love trading the leaders. I usually try to trade the laggards more than the leaders.
Just real quick programming note. This show is brought to you by TradeStation. Chart, analyze, customize, all-in-one program. Charts are courtesy of TradeStation, which we're going to be learning a lot more about in December and January. So thank you to TradeStation. That wasn't the only good earnings report, though, Dennis. Did you already do Credo when I was gone?
No, do it.
Okay, Credo Technologies. I'm having some computer issues here with my data feeds. So,
That's
or not
fine.
my
We can do
data,
Credo.
but
We don't care about the earnings anyways. Just give
You
us the
know what? We
technicals.
really don't. We
We don't.
really
The
don't.
numbers don't really matter. It's the response to the numbers that matter
Yeah.
always. So we
Who,
might just stop giving numbers.
you
We
think
should
so?
stop. Who cares? It's the response to the numbers that matter more. Because sometimes you see a company comes beat, raising stock tanks. Or maybe it was overbought. Maybe it was just a high bar. So the response to the earnings is always way more important than the earnings themselves. The response to the Credo earnings is excellent. And here is a stock that is indeed making new all-time highs. Big whole $200 psychological thing that's struggling with a little bit here this morning. But, give us some technicals.
Actually, I did the earnings. Wow. They beat quarterly. I'm just going to give some comparisons. 50 cents up from 7 cents a year ago period. And the revenue 234.99 compared to 72 mil a year ago. So that is some good information there. Once again, expected move 24.55. So we were using that as a target. I know Bill Big D and the Stock Trader Network caught that. Now you exceeded it, but you're below it. You're below it a little bit. So look it up, $24. That would take you right around 200. Take a look at that. See if you get back. This one, MongoDB, the difference in the charts is MongoDB is right there near the highs of the pre-market session, right? So
Yes.
you can key on that. With Credo, a Mark Chaikin favorite, been pounding the table on that for a long time. You've hit a level. You've had identifiable level here at 203.60. No, actually just hit 204.89. So there's your high. There are your highs. There's something for you to take a look at. That was probably a weird 8 o'clock print though, on one of the on Robinhood or something. But I'm going to use 203.60. That's major resistance. You backed off $6. I think this one's going to have a little harder time getting over 200. So that's when I'm looking at CRDO. And what move with that, Dennis?
I don't know what moves with Credo. They're all up. Tech. Joel
Just
throws me
tech.
completely under the bus on that one.
Credo?
I'm not a huge Credo trader, so if you know what's moving directly with Credo, let me know. I think it's all kind of tied in a little bit, obviously tech here, but let's go look. Credo is an AI company, we know that. So if you just go, sometimes just quickly go and look what the company does. So Credo, we connect is what it is. Credo, we connect. Unique innovation framework in grounding in our core Securities technology, advanced integrated circuit design, and system level development approach. It's a lot of words, and I don't know what the hell any of that means. You know what we need? Let's say it right now. We need to do a show, like a 15-minute show, and it's just going to be titled, "What the hell does this company do?" And we're literally going to do 10-minute segment and just tell you exactly what they do. Because when I read this, I'm not a big technical guy, but this says Credo Technology Group provides various high-speed connectivity solutions for optical and electric Ethernet and PCLE applications in the US. I'm like, I don't know, it's a bunch of technical jargon. I don't know what any of the hell that means. Wouldn't it be nice to just spell it in English, knowing exactly what a lot of these technology companies do? Don't you think that? Write that one down, Joel. I think we should do that. Little 10-minute shows, little clips, shorts, and we'll call what the hell this company does. The first one I'm going to do is Palantir. We're going to come on, and in 5 minutes, somebody's going to explain exactly what the hell Palantir does. Because here's a stock we trade every single day. Here's a stock that Dan Ives last night says going to $1 trillion market cap. And we know they do the government stuff, but nobody really knows AI, government stuff. Nobody really knows what they do. That would be a good little show. Little 10-minute shows. Then you just I don't know what Palantir does. Oh, there's a segment for here. Palantir. We just click the Palantir. This is what they do. And I'm not going to be the one to explain it. We got to find somebody that can actually explain this stuff. So that's probably the bigger issue. What do you think of that? What do you think of them apples?
I think you're creating more work for me to do.
Joel doesn't like the work.
I don't. Working
He's like,
with
that's a lot of
you,
work.
gosh, I can't wait till a week from Wednesday here. I'm missing the Brentster
I'm
already.
coming up with new show ideas right here on the fly.
I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
Okay.
I see
So
Tiny Pie Media here in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you. Reach out to me. Joel at StockTraderNetwork.com.
Palantir. I want to
I
talk
knew you were
Palantir.
going to go to Palantir.
Yeah, that's what was it was a segue. So I had to get to Palantir here. So Dan Ives on CNBC here last night. And we know Dan Ives eternally bullish. We know Dan Ives loves Palantir. So it's kind of a slam dunk that he's going to probably like it. But they ask him, they said, Palantir, it's come off substantially. Do you still like it? Would you, be buying more? Would you double down? He says, I would not double down on Palantir. He says, I would triple down. He says, I think it's going to $1 trillion market cap, 250 next year, and he'd back up the truck. Just be buying. Stock started lifting on that. We know Dan Ives usually, but I think there's a little bit of a lift here this morning with Palantir on the Dan Ives pop. The question is there follow through here? I mean, lots of people watch CNBC, lots of people watch that, segment. Lots of people love Palantir. You think this kickstarts Palantir and starts the party back to the road to 200? Let's not worry about 250 right now. Let's just try to worry about getting back to near all-time highs.
How about we just take the road to 177? Right?
Can we take the road to 177 today? Well, that's
today?
Too much to ask.
I would say nah, not today. What I would do is after this thing opens up, if it looks like it established, if you're looking on the bullish side, if it opens up, let's say it opens up at 168.87, catches a 169 bid, doesn't care about the gap, and keeps going, you work your way into the 170 handle. But I made the daily chart a little bit bigger here because these are the things I like to look at when a major stock that's definitely in an uptrend, has a pullback. Can it get back half of the move? And half of the move just takes it to 177. So I think that would be a soft target on the upside. Maybe not today, but over the next couple days. And then the more major hurdle would be the 50-day there at 179.51. So that's what I'm looking at. As opposed to like buying it here and getting the hopium out. Oh boy, this is right at yesterday's high. This is a nice setup, and as well as a 2-day high. So let's hold this 169.
He's
Yesterday's high,
at the right time, man. I honestly like the Palantir here. I like it because Dan Ives, and again, Dan Ives is eternally bullish, but I think he gets that, he's so convicted there. I just think a lot of people watched that last night. And I think they'll be like, ooh, yeah, let's go. $1 trillion market cap. So Palantir on my watch list here. I was saying, I really like the value stocks right now. This is the exact opposite. But as a trade here, I'd keep an eye on Palantir right now.
Yeah, if you want to look right instead of left, I mean, what if you just open up right here near these highs here and catch a bid? I mean, it's only up $1.52, a little bit more, about 4 times more than the S&P, and a little over double the triple Qs. But nice move in Palantir. I don't know what Burry's doing on this one. He's tripling down on.
Oh, he came out yesterday and said Tesla's his quotes ridiculously overvalued. He's going nuts since he got this Substack. He is out there just bearing up a storm. He's out there bearing. So we know he doesn't like Palantir. He doesn't like NVIDIA, and he now despises Tesla. So we'll see what happens if he's going to end up being right, but he usually ends up being wrong. So Amazon, Joel, 30-minute delivery service. 30 minutes. I'm slightly worried because we have people like Joel Elconin out there, because when Domino's Pizza came out with their 30 minutes or its free delivery service, Joel would somehow try to stall the Domino's Pizza delivery driver so that he would get free pizza back in his younger days. Yeah, he was a bad butt like that. He was bad like that. So, and Amazon now, 30-minute delivery service. These guys going to be going crazy on the roads trying to get this groceries there in 30 minutes, because that's impressive. I mean, what a company. They went from you get your stuff in a couple days to same-day delivery. No. Now I do 30-minute deliveries. I believe it's in 2 cities only.
Okay.
What were the cities? Do you have the cities names? I don't have the cities names.
No.
No, but anyways, it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's 30-minute delivery service. This sounds pretty amazing. So if you want to know, beneficiary obviously is Amazon themselves. It's trading up $2, one of the biggest positions in my long-term portfolio. But right away you think about Instacart. Probably not good news for Instacart. Probably not the greatest news for DoorDash either, although DoorDash is still not trading down as much. But Instacart instantaneously started selling off. Look at CART. Bring that chart back up, Joel, because when they announced that, CART
got hit.
went from $43 to under $40 in about a half a millisecond.
Okay, first of all, a couple things here. It's called being frugal, okay? Getting the free pizza when you're in college. All right. You have to, you try and save money. Second of all, you got to do scenario analysis. I lived on a one-way street. So it was pretty easy to park a couple cars at the end of the street.
It's so bad.
Okay.
You blocked the street so they would be late?
Yes.
Wow, Joel. You were so bad when you were a kid.
Well, it was
a
a one-way street.
You made it this far.
It was a one-way, so they probably only had, I don't know. It was, so if it was close.
So when the guy shows up and he's 31 minutes, do you pay him or you're like, nope, you're a minute late and that's it, free pizza?
Yeah, but we gave him a big tip.
Oh my gosh, it's a big tip. It's coming out of his money. So he's short.
No, I mean, they shouldn't have the stupid rule. Okay. Also, Dennis, you made a big error here. And you said the delivery driver. Okay. It's going to be like a Waymo. It's going to be or like, I don't know how heavy the groceries.
I was saying they're going to be done with drones. I didn't look at the details. You know me, I'm a headline reader. I didn't read the article. Is it done with drones? Are they doing it with drones?
No, that's what I don't know. I mean, they're going to integrate some kind of AI into this or driverless. So it's not going to be people. It's going to be.
Well, eventually, but I bet it's people right now. I don't think we're there.
Right.
Did you see the Waymo yesterday? Drove through, it was on TMZ. There was a standoff between, police and someone, and the Waymo drove right through the middle of the standoff.
Really?
I don't know what study it was in. Yeah, it was on TMZ. I don't know. Like TMZ usually got this stuff together, though. I don't know if it's true or not. But yeah, the Waymo is just like flying bullets. So we just take them right through there. It wasn't in the Google system for maybe you should, when the police barricades are all there on both sides and they're keeping, the Waymo just kind of putsies on through. I mean, the cops did let the car through, but that's funny. In the middle of a shootout. So I don't think like we're quite there for the autonomous delivery yet. We're getting there though. We're getting there.
Amazon right here, right now is about $1 away from the 50% retracement. There's also a daily high at 238.73. So it's a little bit of a pop, but let's see if getting half. Ooh, is that right? Did I do the retracement right? Nope, I just moved the retracement line. But that's where it comes in. So right there is your pre-market high. There's your 50%.
It's probably more of a selling opportunity than a buying opportunity with Amazon.
I mean, selling opportunity. Why would you want to sell?
You don't sell anything. We're going into the strongest seasonal period for stocks ever.
Big hit, a little bit overdone. How they Maple Bear, I don't know how they came up with that name, but that put in a nice formation yesterday. Multiple highs in the same area. So this just kind of add significance to the 4270 area. Look, when people forget about this and they move on, 4270 is a big level. And then right now, in order to get a gap fill, you got to get up to 4141. So that, minor resistance, but the close, man, it closed right near the high. People were looking for that breakout. And so that's adding significance to the 4270 level. We did Amazon, we did DoorDash.
Yeah.
Still don't understand the whole DoorDash thing. I mean, you go to these restaurants and there's all this stuff out there and it says DoorDash and the driver's name. I mean, what stops people from just going in there and
Joel, nobody thinks criminally like you.
It's not criminally. I'm thinking logically. I'm thinking
Somebody just
logically.
grabs a bag and says, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Joel," and they're not really Joel, and then they're gone with your food. I think
Yes.
a lot of the drivers, I think the DoorDash drivers go to the same places. I think sometimes the actual restaurants get to know the drivers a little bit too.
Okay.
So I think it's some of the same drivers all the time. But it's the honesty system. Did you know up here in Canada, like the fruit stands, they put little tins there, and you just put your money in the tin. The people don't take the tins. Like it's courtesy and it's honesty. Most people are honest, unless you're in Toronto and then they steal your car. So yeah, so it depends where you are, I guess.
All
Okay,
right. Let's.
IREN
Yes.
has a
Yes.
nice comeback yesterday. Like, wow, big pop back, open near the lows, 44 closes near the highs. And then what did they do? The dreaded offering. We're like, we got to raise some cash since we're burning cash like crazy and we need to spend on AI. So they're raising some cash. So IREN tanks back down yesterday, right down to the intraday lows, really. It's kind of bounced off too. So it's down a couple bucks. We do have an offering here on IREN. So if you're wondering why that's trading weak this morning, it is an offering. Is there any technical thoughts here, Joel, on
Yeah.
IREN?
Yeah. Of course, we don't know the the offering, where this is going to be priced at here, but it kind of looks. I mean, if you're a buy the dipper here and you really think that 40 was a major low, and you had your 10-point move and you're coming back up, halfway, 44 and a half, 45 area, did sneak under 45 in the pre-market. I don't know. I think you could use this. I wouldn't be selling the thing short down $2, but that's what I think. Also, yesterday's low 44.26, so keep an eye on that. I don't know, like the area. I'd rather look at support as something like this until, I mean, if they come out where they jam the offering down, your throat, that's one thing. But a little bit of a pullback. Stock that's in an uptrend, had a rough November, was working your way back in December, but hit a little bit of a roadblock.
We got XPO Logistics trading down significantly here. Had to dig a little bit for this one, but they did post last night a 5.4% decrease in LTL tonnage for November 2025. So shipping a little bit less stuff apparently here. And the stock is trading down with that news here. Stock actually down fairly significantly here. So stock is trading down 3.82% pre-market. Shipping a little bit less stuff here, Joel.
Yeah,
XPO.
wow. Well, the street, the algos ran with it. It's down, not showing any life, not showing anything from the pre-market trading. Let's just go from the daily
Light
action.
volume.
Yeah, light volume. I guess you could use 140.91 as potential resistance. That was yesterday's low. And what do you have in here? Really no support. Your next daily low comes in at 133.99. And that, I don't know. I'll use 130. If this got done, if I was short, I got jammed short, and this came in 133, 134. You have the 50-day in there. You also have a daily low in there. So, I mean, once again, shorting this thing down $5.50, even though it's had a nice run, still may have some more tanking of gas. Actually, those statistics that you gave me,
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like, they
I don't
are
know.
shipping less stuff. I think you put all that information in the Chat GPT and it says they're shipping less stuff.
It summarizes for you nicely. That's good news. That's what
What else goes
ChatGPT
with
is for.
XPO? What else goes with XPO? Anything? I don't know.
I don't know if anybody cares about XPO anymore. Like maybe before, you could consider some of the other shipping companies there, but they're kind of their own thing. So I don't know. And the shipping, some of the stocks down so much here too. So the trucker stocks. Chat wants to talk MSTR. We should cover it because it was a crazy move yesterday. Kind of felt like capitulation yesterday with MSTR because this stock has got to be the worst stock in the last 2 months in the whole market. It was $360 at the beginning of October. Yesterday, it hit 155. And people are talking about they're going to have to sell Bitcoin. This company's levered up and they're actually going to go down. I'm like, I don't know if that's the case here. I don't think it's the case at all. They have a lot of Bitcoin, so can't they just sell some of their Bitcoin and pay off their debt? I mean, like going bankrupt? I don't think that's the case here whatsoever. So could they get into a situation where they would potentially have to sell some Bitcoin to pay off some debt? Maybe. But, it's not an ideal situation when you're buying it higher than selling it low. But I don't think we're in a situation where strategy is going bankrupt. I don't think that at all. But that was flying around social media yesterday. So I think we kind of capitulated. We know it's been coming down to NAV. Louis Sykes has been on here and calling this as a fantastic trade. I saw him back in the summertime. Obviously, he's with All Star Charts, and he was saying, look, MSTR is going to NAV. It's where it's going. It's been a fantastic call. So it's almost there.
Is it almost there?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
No, I don't have it either.
It's getting close. It's got to be getting close. It goes down every day. Does anybody know is MSTR at NAV yet? Strategy metrics. You could go to the site. They can look at the metrics. They post it. It says 1.15 MNAV. I think that means it's actually still trading with a 15% premium. At one point in time, it's traded with a 300% premium to NAV. That's crazy. And then the ETFs came out, and that was the end of that. So it's just kind of been coming down to NAV. So at a certain point in time, it's just going to move with Bitcoin. And that's where it's at. Somebody says below NAV. Does that include the debt, though, K-Tin? So you got to look at it because they've borrowed, too. So you can't just look at it and say, okay, well, they have more Bitcoin than they do market cap, so it's below NAV. But no, they've borrowed, too. So you have to consider the leverage aspect of it because they have to pay that back. So you got to do all that math and figure it all out, and maybe you can get there. But if it's not at NAV, it's getting darn close.
We talked about this in the STN room when we were talking about the Bitcoin check back. We were talking about the IBIT, which is I'm sure trading up, and what we came to the conclusion is you have a level to trade off here, a tradable low, right? Bad October, bad November. Well, it's only one day into the month, but you're creating a monthly candle. So far, you have a much higher low over your November low. And also, this was a check back here from the initial rally off the low to the $87,000 area. So you had that check back. So if Bitcoin's going to rally, it's going to take MSTR with it. Big reversal yesterday off that 155 low. That's something that's hard to ignore. But what's getting super interesting, and we don't see this very often, is you're getting the 50 and the 150 to 200 day cross. Now that's supposed to be like a death cross, isn't it? When the 50 gets below the 200 day, that's way up at 107,000.
A long ways to go before we get back up to the death cross area.
Yeah, but a lot of actually when I was on Stocks and Jocks this morning, Tom Howe asked me about this, and he's like, what do I attribute this decline to? And I'm like, well, the hype around a lot of stocks, the euphoria was let out, and Bitcoin falls into that category too. But do you think it's just so much more liquidity, like the banks and all the ETFs, that like it's catching more attention to the ARBs, and the ARBs are not looking for 2.3% moves. They're just looking to pick up little nickels and dimes and quarters and 50-cent pieces, silver dollars here and there. So it's a tighter market, or you think Bitcoin's still Bitcoin?
I think it's just its own thing. I think it's just out of favor right now, and eventually it'll come back into favor. I do think so. I have multiple people saying it did go below NAV. It does appear that it did yesterday, because I just was doing the math here in the background. So they have a 50 and this is from the strategy website. So I don't know if this is updated as of this morning or not, but I'm just taking it from their metrics. They have approximately $51 billion market cap. They have $56 billion worth of Bitcoin. So you would say, oh, it's trading under NAV. But they got $8.2 billion worth of debt. So you got to knock that off too. So you got to so it's slightly back above NAV, but it does look like yesterday it did indeed breach NAV. So I do think this under NAV is probably, now you're buying the Bitcoin cheaper than the Bitcoin. So now it starts to make sense. So I think the floor is NAV on this. That's what I'm going to say. I think there's a good floor on NAV. Let's bring Joel Kulina into this conversation. Maybe
Yeah, exactly. We are going to bring in Joel Kulina as we speak right now. Oh, is that the right intro? Yep. There he is, Joel Kulina.
Morning, guys.
Yeah, Managing Director, Wedbush Securities, Technology and Media Trading. Joel, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. It was a quiet day yesterday in the markets. I think I saw S&P volume was the lightest it was since early January of this year. It definitely felt like that. But again, with despite it being December, 21 or 22 trading sessions left in the year. There's plenty of catalysts day in, day out. That's for sure. And especially at tech, you guys kind of touched on a few earnings last night. You're seeing double-digit moves to the upside, and you have Marvell tonight, Octane, Pure Storage, Salesforce numbers are on deck this week. Oracle, I believe, is next week as well. We got Micron, Broadcom in the coming weeks as well. So there's a lot to sink into for tech investors. That's for sure.
So we'll see how big of a hockey fan. I know Dennis might be banging away at the keyboard there, but there's a picture of a goalie back there.
Yeah.
On the floor. Don't say anything, Joel.
I'm making it big. Where?
If I tilt over a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my eyes are bad. That's an oldie too. That's like a 1960 goalie. Who the hell is that?
A gift from the father-in-law right there. I don't know who the artist is, but it's a pretty cool.
Do we know who the goalie is? Who's the goalie?
I'm gonna be wrong here. I want to say it's Ken Dryden, but I could be completely
it's
incorrect.
Not Montreal though.
No, it's more of a generic.
It's black and white. So what team is it? Is the question?
It's a generic painting. So it's not an actual team. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, that makes it really.
It's styled off Ken Dryden.
They're saying Dryden.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure
Kenny Dryden was fantastic there. The non-Montreal colors threw me off. So Kenny Dryden. Wow. There you go.
All right, they had to get that hockey in there. So Joel, you sent an interesting graphic over to me yesterday. It doesn't show up great on from the email, but it's from Coatue.
Coatue, massive, $70 billion tech fund. They've been obviously a major player in the tech landscape over the past decade plus. They've been a lot more vocal. I do suggest any listeners, they've been a lot more vocal on LinkedIn. I think they even launched like a Coatue, like 40 names in some sort of ETF AI basket as well, so similar to Dan Ives. But they're probably one of the smartest shops out there. So increasingly they're posting stuff on LinkedIn, and I'm trying to see how I can share this. I'm not too familiar.
Yeah. If you go to, do you have see that right next to you, present or invite?
Yeah.
On StreamYard?
Here we are right here. I think this is it. Share. How does that look? Did that come up?
You got to choose a screen now that it's on. Do you have the screen that it's on?
Yep.
Okay. Share screen. Make sure that screen is clicked, and then hit share.
Yeah, it should. So you guys don't see that at all?
I see a screen, but it's blank.
Yeah, it's blank.
Huh.
Oh, you do share screen and then entire screen, and then
well, entire screen will show entire screen. You can pick what you want. A little plus.
Sorry,
like I see you trying to share something. Wait.
Yeah. Let me see here again. Share screen.
Almost had it. Yeah, just try it over again. We'll get it.
Okay. I got it here. I got it here, Joel. Let me add mine to it.
Okay. Oh, I think I figured it out.
Okay. If you figured it out, then
I'll remove Joel's and take it down here again.
Yep.
It's still black though.
Still black. All right. I mean, it's not. It's I can kind of walk through it.
There's mine.
I don't see that, but basically it's just looking at how the dispersion within the AI trade over the better part of the past month and a half. Whereas the Google complex, anything exposed to TPUs, has been massively outperforming anything.
Can you zoom in more, Joel? Just zoom in on your chart, like zoom, like.
It's not a chart, Dennis. It's from an email.
Yeah, well, I can see a chart. There, look, he's got it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going out around that now.
There we go. Disregard that little thing
Oh.
I just drew there.
There we
Okay.
go.
But basically, it's just looking at the outperformance and dispersion within in the AI trade, and Google Complex is obviously the green outperforming. So in there you have names like obviously Alphabet, Lumentum, Broadcom, Celestica, and on the flip side is names kind of in blue. The names just more exposed to Sam Altman and OpenAI. So you have NVIDIA, AMD, Microsoft, CoreWeave, Oracle, SoftBank. And again, I think you still have to point to, I believe it was Halloween or right around Halloween when Sam Altman was on the Brad Gerstner podcast, BG2, and he was really cagey around some of his responses to how are they going to finance all these commitments. So I think there's real red flags around OpenAI. I think the market's telling you that. And the beautiful thing, I say beautiful thing about this AI trade, there's going to be more dispersion moving forward. You don't need to be all in on every name. You can miss a little bit of performance and say Oracle, but if you don't want to stomach some of the balance sheet issues or the credit concerns, you can buy Broadcom or buy MongoDB or Snowflake or Datadog. There's just a lot of ways to play this trade, and you don't have to kind of go all in on the ones with a little bit more hair on them if you're willing to maybe sacrifice a little bit of alpha. But again, I think you want to stick with the names that the price action's telling you that the market thinks are going to be the winners heading into 26.
This is such a fantastic chart. Just summing up what exactly has occurred. And we're even seeing the algorithms do it now here too, where yesterday, NVIDIA, AMD were bouncing back a little bit. Google, Broadcom, both down yesterday. I mean, the inverse correlation here is really strong right now. It's going to be a time where they probably start moving again together. But right now, it's like this whole GPUs versus TPUs thing. And that's all the algos are really focused on here. I mean, it is, let's just talk this in general here. Is the market, overcompensating here? Like, is the market like saying that we maybe TPUs with Meta, coming in and now potentially doing a deal with Google? Is the market like just being too cautious here with NVIDIA maybe now at Oracle, selling them off substantially here? Or is this Google really going to be, a serious competition for NVIDIA?
I think the one truth that's going to be the case moving forward is that big hyperscalers, big customers, whether it's sovereigns, whatever it may be, people are going to be continuing to seek cheap alternatives to NVIDIA's GPUs. And we know Alibaba and Huawei, they're doing some kind of fantastic things locally as well with some of their chips. They're probably 2-3 years away from becoming a real competitor to NVIDIA, a real threat potentially. But I think there is a real desire for these hyperscalers to kind of keep get their capex and spending under some sort of control. And to me, that was the biggest takeaway from the Meta TPU headline of last week. Zuckerberg stock, we're in the midst of a 20-25% drawdown on Meta. It's been a disaster since they reported in late October. And I think to me, it was the headlines more at least reflect that Zuckerberg is aware that the market's not too happy with his freewheeling spending, and they need to get things under a little bit more control. And obviously, seeking cheaper alternatives is one way they can do that. And also, it helps them diversify their supply chain as well. So it's very, I think, intelligent and strategic to do this. And I think you'll see other major customers follow this path. We know Amazon's big events today. Their AWS CEO, his keynote speech is at 11 a.m. today. And again, Trainium is their obviously custom accelerator chip and project. That's going to be a big focus today. So even yesterday, you saw Marvell, Astera Labs, they really outperformed, most likely covering into this Amazon event today. We'll see if it continues. Obviously, there's some more M&A related headlines for Marvell. That's up a couple percent. Astera Labs was up 6% a couple minutes ago. So again, it shows how. And also, you kind of highlighted how performance, how blown out things got in the month of November alone. That's really become one of the biggest challenges for tech investors that I speak to, is that moves or headlines that say you maybe expect a stock to move 2 to 3%. Now they're moving 6 to 7, 8%. So the moves are just so extreme in such a short period of time. It's tough because you don't want to be the last one in chasing at the top. But to go back to your question, I think Google's still the cleanest story in all of tech, especially within the mega cap cohort, and what they're doing on the TPU side is pretty fantastic.
Going back to this Amazon event, there was a point where Nvidia mentions a company and at one of these events and it explodes. You haven't seen that as much lately. Is it? Should we start looking at that from like Amazon and Google now that the reactions that you're talking about? Has the pendulum shifted from Nvidia to these other stocks, and that's what people are going to be focusing on?
For some cases, yes. I think more for Google than say Amazon. I think with the two names I mentioned more in the Amazon ecosystem, they're both heavily shorted by the multi-strat pod community. So you sort of get these herd type of squeezes and groupthink type of moves. But for Google, 100%. And like I said, Broadcom reports. Like I said, I believe it's next week. I should know the date of this. I don't offhand. But I think it's a name you just want to own, slow and steady. Its valuation isn't demanding, and even with Nvidia, you asked it earlier. Nvidia is not expensive; it's cheap. It's still got one of the best CEOs this planet has ever seen. Demand is through the roof. Credo told us that last night on their conference call. I know you guys mentioned them at the top of the call as well. I mean, there's still a ton of good stories, and I think the beautiful thing is though you don't. In my opinion, I would not be gravitating towards names that have outsized exposure to Sam Altman. I think this story is not over yet. We'll see how it all shakes out, but it's there was another kind of code red email that he sent to employees last night that they need to kind of up their game and focus on their kind of next iteration of ChatGPT, claiming it's going to surpass Gemini 3 as well. But we'll see. But like I said, Credo. You mentioned it, like what does this company do? And again, they're just one of these other supply chain type of names. They're going to benefit from the continued build out of kind of the world's largest AI training and inference clusters. And right now, bulls right now around the street, they see Credo as the high growth, high margin, pure play on AI data center connectivity, and that seems to be where the next kind of next level of the AI trades pushing more aggressively to. We had the semis, we had the GPUs, and now we're moving more to the connectivity on the app layer side as well. Look at MongoDB up 24% as well. Third consecutive quarter of a huge beat and raise. And again, just their beat and their growth reflects strong growth in the core operational workloads that are driven by AI. So man, this trade continues to broaden out, and I think the dispersion is very healthy. So if you don't want to be buying Nvidia or Oracle, there's a ton of ways to play it right now.
Joel, I remember when you were setting out and you did a dissection of the Altman interview in the podcast, and then the way he backtracked on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was trying to make sense of it, and like I thought there was a trading signal from it, and evidently there was, but
Yeah.
that's great reporting by you, Joel. I just want to talk just overall about these software companies because
Yep.
they're still kind of in the dumpster here. I'm looking at Salesforce here. Some other companies are due to report. So I guess technically, and maybe the sentiment is still negative on these software companies.
Yep.
What would it take, to make a positive tone for 2026?
That's a good question right there. And right now, software is facing this. I'm gonna try to share another chart with you guys. It's
You did good on that first one, Joel.
We'll see. I'm gonna stop this one. Stop the screen. I don't know if that worked.
That worked.
Share screen. Look at this. I'm becoming a pro. But basically, you got to look at this chart here. I'm gonna pop up right now. Let me know if your viewers can see that.
Well, we'll pop it up.
That Bloomberg chart.
It's scrolling.
Just loading.
Let's try it.
So basically, it's one of Goldman Sachs's proprietary baskets. Just looking at software versus semis, and this is one of the ugliest charts you're going to see in the entire universe right now. It's at its lows, and if it
scrolling wheel of death.
Yeah. If it wasn't for MongoDB, Snowflake, Datadog, this chart would look a lot worse. But obviously, Oracle's been a disaster for a variety of reasons. Now you have Salesforce, ServiceNow, Workday. There is just no appetite. Adobe. There is just no appetite for these companies right now until they can actually prove they're prove me stories. Until they prove that they can actually, there's real ROI from.
So what is this chart exactly showing, Joel? Now
so
that
that's software versus semis.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of the top is right around April, to give your viewers a glimpse at that. So it's pretty disgusting. Rallies.
Is this why Benioff's going nuts right here?
Exactly. Yeah, I heard he was on a podcast over the weekend talking about mushrooms and things like that. So it all makes sense. But yeah, so I think software, what's good, I think it's the classic buyers are higher. People either still want to see more deeper cuts to kind of, mark a trough, or they just need to see more like, where is the ROI going to show up in AI? Because there's still this market view and perception that AI is going to continue to eat software. Price actions telling us that, numbers are telling us that. So to me, it feels like the classic buyers are higher. Again, you can buy a Salesforce or ServiceNow up 10 to 12% if it's the right print, the right narrative shifter. And that's, I think, what people have to become comfortable with. You don't need to catch a falling knife, or whatever you want to call this thing. More, it looks like a falling kind of, chainsaw to me.
Death
But I think
1,000 cuts here.
yeah,
Keeps going down
but
every day.
you listen to Mark Benioff. He's been vocal against his attacks on Palantir. You can put those two stocks up against one another. You know who's been winning there, at least in the numbers. So again, I wouldn't be trying to be a hero catching these type of stocks. Right now, I don't know if I'd be buying MongoDB up 25% like it is right now. But with that said, Snowflake, Datadog, Mongo, those are the names we want to be buying on the dips. Or again, like I said, I don't know if I want to buy stock up 20%, 4%, not my style. But if you see a Salesforce turn and on a right catalyst, the right narrative shifter, that's when you want to be buying them. But wait until they reclaim that, whether it's a 20-day moving average, 50-day, you need to see at least some sort of, something. You need to see a real shift in sentiment on a catalyst, not just kind of factor rotations and things like that, moving the market around.
Well, I mean, we're going to get Salesforce.com tomorrow night.
Yep.
They're going to report here. And I think this is the most important report for Salesforce in a long time, because the stock is just hanging out near the 52-week low. It feels like it's hanging on a cliff here. And I know, Joel, you can show the chart too if you want. We'll just we'll remove this and add it so we can see the Salesforce chart. But I mean, what I'm talking about here is, we're looking at that top right chart. We just keep moving lower, lower, lower. Obviously, well below the 50, well below the 200-day. I mean, it's just been a disaster. Benioff, had a rant on Kramer about a month ago where, you talked about it, where, he was attacking Palantir, saying they're trading 120 times sales, and here we are trading, 3 times or 5 times sales. He's like, the market doesn't know what they're doing. And he was flustered. Like, he was seriously upset at his stock price.
Yeah, and not what you want to see from your leader.
Do you think they come and like try to defend it, like do a buyback or do something here? Because Benioff right now, we'll just set it up. He is really ticked off at his share price. Yeah. So he is going to try to do everything in his power to probably get the share price to go higher here.
And don't forget, they had Dreamforce just over about a month and a half ago, mid-October. Yeah. And he couldn't have been more bullish, or he was trying to be at least, and the stock just didn't react. It maybe it had maybe a short, 1-day pop, and then it was just like boom, the sellers came right back out. So you look at the stock, the 52-week highs are north of 360, 232 last. Like again, if this stock busts above like 250 or 260 even on real volume, on a real catalyst, on a real narrative shifter, you can probably buy this thing, because people do want to buy some of these beaten up laggards, but they just don't want to be the sucker just buying it and buying it on no catalyst. So it's, again, the classic buyers are higher, and that's probably when long only community will sort of step in as well. And also in large cap as well. I didn't even realize till after the close yesterday. I mean, obviously, look at Apple sneakily breaking out the fresh 52-week highs. iPhone 17 lead times are strengthening into the holiday season, which is consistent with seasonality. But I've been arguing a bull case here has really developed since mid-September. We know people were sort of could care less about the iPhone upgrade cycle when coming out of the summer, but checks right out of the gate were positive. We know nobody owns it, and who knows? Are they now, with all what's going on with OpenAI and Oracle and some of these other like huge proxies for elevated spending and commitments? Maybe Apple's. I mean, people are sort of getting getting a little credit for maybe they're the smartest player in the room, right? They're effectively outsourcing the expensive AI arms race while keeping all the customer leverage. So to be determined on that. But AI is pretty much a zero in the stock price. So if they do anything somewhat constructive or positively, the stock's going to even re-rate even further. But to me, Apple's one. Just keep buying the dips. The story's okay, and then you got the foldable phone as really the first major upgrade in the form factor next year as well. So there's stuff to get excited about for Apple, which again, been able to say it since mid-September, but up until that point, you couldn't say anything positively about Apple for years.
Joel, one more before we let you go. I know we're going a little bit extended here. You covered media, but we've been talking about technology. I guess the most interesting thing, I just have you comment on Netflix here. That's looking at a potential death cross, maybe a little bit of a bump here off the recent low. Looking to get involved with Warner Brothers Discovery here. Any comments on Netflix or the media sector?
Yeah, I mean, media is sort of the same old, right? It's you have your legacy companies where consolidation is sort of happening out of necessity and survival versus kind of strategic. Cable, arguably probably one of the most hated collection of stocks on the planet, and rightfully so, right? And as viewing habits continue to shift, sports content costs, competition's ramping from that, from the mega caps. So there's just right now and let's talk about Netflix. I'm sure most people care about. It just really, I think there is a valuation case here. It was pretty expensive heading into the print about 5-6 weeks ago, but right now it's just pretty unexciting. And so you almost need to get this Warner Brothers M&A kind of overhang out of the way, and I think people will revisit it. But for right now, Netflix is not much to get pumped up about in the near term. And remember, they didn't really give a full year 26 guide. So until we get that, it's going to be somewhat overhang. So you may have to wait until late January when they report to get more of a what is Netflix seeing? What are they saying for the entire fiscal year 26? But again, we all know is the paid sharing and easy ARPU gains that the stock enjoyed over the past year plus. Those have faded. So I think the keys for Netflix. I think you can buy it here and you can still sleep at night. But I think you're going to have to probably wait till the later half of January until you get full year 26 guide. Let's see what happens here with Warner Brothers. Obviously Netflix is interested in certain parts of the business. They don't want the full thing, which I don't think anybody does. But I think that's where I kind of stand on Netflix. You can buy it now. You can also buy it in 6 weeks, and it probably won't be much of a difference.
Okay, Joel Kulina, over at Wedbush Technology and Media Training. Thank you for this extended interview, Joel.
All right, guys.
Okay, real quick here. Our second sponsor of the show is Hive Digital Technologies. The show is brought to you by Hive, a global leader in green-powered data centers for Bitcoin mining, high-performance computing, and AI. Operating with nearly 0.5 gigawatt of renewable energy, Hive is on track to capture 3% of the world's Bitcoin production by the end of 2025. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit the link in the description to learn more. Thank you to Hive.
I think Bitcoin, and bring up the Bitcoin because we like to talk about it here. We set up a trade in STN last night. We both set it up very well. And we were saying you could stop yourself out on the low of the move. We did it with iBet just because it was easy. It's traded. You don't have to worry about trading futures and crypto here, but just iBet. So low of the move was 46.68. It's working because last night we set it up. I feel like I don't know where we set it up. It was in the afternoon. It was around 48.30, I think, 48.40. Yeah. Near the close. Just even say it was 48.50, but it was actually before the close. So it was right around 48.5. And we're just saying, look, you're risking 4% down to the low of the move, and you're making the call that the low of the Bitcoin is in. I mean, it's a call. I know there's a few people that took the trade in the STN room here. It's working really well here because IBIT is obviously up substantially here this morning. So I'm going to stick with that, and say that 48, that test yesterday, we didn't breach the previous low here, and just maybe crypto winner could eventually get past us here. So I'm going to say, it's stopping out on the iBet at 46.68, but I like the trade. at 48.5. And basically, you can set up the trade to get up to the high of the move, maybe get back to where you were just even a couple days ago. And I bet at 52.85. But I think yesterday's sell-off, I think, was a little bit of, even with MSTR, they're talking about, oh man, this company's got problems, it's under NAV. I feel like it was a little bit of capitulatory selling yesterday.
All right. Any ratings catching your attention?
No, I would say really not, but there was a couple here, so we'll cover them there. Upgrades, I know QSR caught an upgrade from Argus here this morning, and that stock is trading a little bit higher here. Some of the restaurant stocks been bouncing back here too. This has been a value type of market, a little bit of dividend, 3.44% dividend on QSR, and it's come back a long ways from the lows. And I think that's where we're at. I still think I like the value stocks here. I know yesterday I've been saying it. I like value here. So other stocks, Stifel upgrading Teradyne, TER to buy. That's been the stock's been moving. It's trading up substantially here this morning. Truist upgrading Six Flags, which is fun. The best ticker symbol out there. Barrett upgrades ALB just to neutral, though. T-Mobile upgrade to sector way to KeyBank. So a couple smaller ones here. Downgrades, there really wasn't much there, Joel. So analysts pretty quiet. Usually Tuesday's your biggest day, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more here today from the analyst community here, but somewhat quiet coming out of holiday weekend there. So not surprising.
All right. Not much earnings after the close tomorrow. Or today, but going to earnings tomorrow in the AM, Macy's, which broke out above 22 and is still going. That was a major level for Macy's. Dollar Tree is due to
Retail's
report.
just been flying. I mean, American Eagle, Outfitters, there's just, this retail. And again, it makes sense. A lot of these stocks are trading with ridiculously low PEs, and you don't have to look any farther than Abercrombie and Fitch. It turned the retailers around. It was A&F because stamp stocks trading like at $65. They said they're going to make $10.50 in earnings, even if you round down to 10. It's trading 6 times earnings, and people are like, holy crap. The company just makes a lot of money, and it's just been going and going and going for 4 days straight. Stock is up 65 to 102. Like, it's a 40-point move on a 65. It's like a 60% move in 3 days, 4 days, 4 trading days. So this retail stock rally is real. One, you're coming to the seasonally strongest period for retailers as well, the Christmas season. So it all just makes a hell of a lot of sense. I think you're looking around and buying other retailers on dips because this rally is for real. I know there's people saying, oh, Dennis was so bearish yesterday. Dennis wasn't bearish. Dennis was value. Dennis was saying, I like value over the growth stocks here. And I still think I'm sticking with that. I mean, this has been an unbelievable value market here lately. S&P is holding up because of value stocks. There's just been huge comebacks in so many of these names that we just pointed out. I mean, General Motors, new all-time high yesterday. So, I mean, you got to look outside the box. We can't just have the blinders on, okay, it's all AI and that's all we care about. This market has separated from that. It separated 2 months ago. And, we're going to keep preaching what's working. What's working is buying value on dip. Value is hot as hell right now.
You want a new Trump stock?
Yes.
Dell.
Why?
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Dell are giving $250 to 25 million kids. Okay. And you got a truth earlier. 2 great people. I love Dell. 2 great people. I love Dell. So there you go. So there is your catalyst.
The Trump stock, and Dell is trading up. You get a little bit of truthing from Mr. President, and it does good for your stock. So Dell moving higher. Well, I like that long.
You know where he got that from?
No.
He got that from me.
He stole that from you, Joel?
Yeah, because I like Dell. I got all Dell computers except for that one Microsoft Surface that I don't like. So, okay. All right, folks, that's it for today on pre-market prep. Let's go over to the STN room and set up those opening trades. Thanks for joining us.